What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Wednesday, October 13th. So we have some new updates. We actually had the CPI data. It was released this morning. I want to break down what was in it and how this is going to impact us moving forward. I also want to address the stimulus package, where we're at, where Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema stand, what Nancy Pelosi and the Progressive House Caucus Chairwoman has said regarding the upcoming bill and how the negotiations are going to move forward, and have some daily news for you as well. So let's get right into it. First, today the CPI data was released. We actually had higher numbers than what were expected. However, they were not off by that much. We are now seeing inflation at 5.4% from last year. This has actually been the highest it has been in the past 13 years. Now, even though 5.4% is much higher than where the Federal Reserve wants us to be, they want us to be closer to 2 to 3%. However, this is what it's at, which it's not great that it's the highest it's been in 13 years, because 13 years ago was the financial crisis of 2008. So yes, it is. We're putting us back into 2008 categories. That's not good. Nobody wants to be back in 2008. Now, prices rose by 0.4% in September. This is up again from 0.3% that it rose in August. What I can tell you is gas, food, and other goods continue to be the biggest cause of inflation. But used car prices are actually falling, and they actually have fallen a little bit over the past month. Here's the problem. The majority of people buy food, gas, and goods and services. Those four things. Okay? Here's the problem. Food is getting more expensive. Gas is getting more expensive. I believe it's up like 43.6% in the past year. We are seeing services are more expensive. If you want to go and, let's say, get your yard mowed, it's more expensive. You want to get your windows cleaned, it's more expensive. You want to get your house cleaned, it's more expensive. Good news, if you want to get your taxes filed, it's actually a little bit cheaper. So good news there. But the problem is the majority of people that are buying these food, different services, products or goods, especially during the holiday season, it's going to hurt them financially because everything is going to cost a little bit more. Here's the other issue, and I want to just address this really quick. I wasn't planning on it, but here's the issue. If we see a supply chain issue, which we're already seeing, there's a shortage of goods and products in retail stores. For example, you want to try to go and get like LOL dolls at the store, go to Walmart, you go to Target and try to get those. Well, it's going to be very difficult because many stores do not have those at this time. There's a lot of toys that stores just aren't carrying at this time because they can't get them. So what's going to happen? If the store does get them, chances are they will not be on sale. They're going to be full price, or the price is going to be a little bit higher because, well, they had to pretty much privately ship them in, whether it's on a ship or a plane from another country, in order to get the products. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So just be aware, the products that your kids may want this year for Christmas, you may not be able to get, or they're going to be a lot more expensive than what you were anticipating. So just keep that in mind. Now, the other thing when it comes to the CPI data this morning is that the hope was that this report would actually make things easier and answer questions. Well, the Federal Reserve, they want to begin their taper. Okay? Lawmakers, they want to have an easy answer as to why they should or shouldn't do certain pieces of legislation. And the fact is that this report didn't really create additional answers. It actually brought up more questions as to why we are seeing certain things at this time. But again, all experts are saying we are seeing inflation. Many say this is not just going to go away anytime soon, and experts warn us that this could be the new normal. So just keep that in mind. Now let's get into the cost of living adjustment for Social Security really quick, and then we'll jump into the infrastructure bill. After today's CPI data was released, the cost of living adjustment for Social Security is now expected to be at 5.9%. That's the expectation at this time. At 5.9%, that would actually create a $91 per recipient increase per month, on top of the benefit of $1,543 currently. This 5.9% increase, this would also be the largest increase we have seen to the cost of living adjustment since 1982. So, pretty big increase so far. Also, keep in mind that this increase could actually hurt many people as well, simply because by getting more money, there's certain benefits you may be ineligible for. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Whether it's food assistance, rental assistance, Medicare, the premiums are going to go up. So even though you're getting an additional $91 per month, it doesn't mean you will keep all that $91. So just understand that. Now, I want to discuss the upcoming infrastructure bill or stimulus package. And I want to do this because for one main reason. Right now, the White House and certain Democrats are trying to negotiate this deal. They're not having a lot of success. Nancy Pelosi says that fewer things should be included into this bill in order to get the deal done. Well, then Nancy Pelosi, after that, she said that progressives would have to pare down their bills by limiting the amount of years that these get extended. So not only does she think that the bill needs to have fewer priorities, but it needs to extend a little bit less. So instead of 4 years for the child tax credits, maybe just 2, right? That's kind of what we're hearing. Well, here's the issue. House of Representatives Democrat Pramila Jayapal, she says, and she is the U.S. House Progressive Caucus chairwoman, she says, we are not going to pit child care against climate change. We're not going to pit housing against paid leave. We're not going to pit seniors against young people. And this is what we are seeing, okay? What we have been seeing over the past week or so is that progressives say we want it all. Progressives say it will be an all or nothing approach. And this could be a negotiation tactic, but this is their tactic moving forward. Many people say they are willing to move forward with this tactic because if moderates want to see their hard infrastructure bill get passed, that's that $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill. That's for roads, bridges, and railways. If moderates want that to pass, then they will jump on board and support progressives with their asks as well. So, this could mean that the human infrastructure bill and that bipartisan hard infrastructure bill, they pass together, or neither one passes at all. That's the expectation as of this morning. Also this morning, there were a lot of questions about what moderates would be willing to accept. And when I'm talking about moderates, I'm mainly talking about Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. Those are the two that have pretty much put their name in front of pretty much every single lawmaker, all the media, because those are the two that are holding everything up. Right now, here's what we know. Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema, they have different wants. They have different ideas. They have different priorities. They've made different promises to their constituents. This makes it very difficult to get a deal done at this time. What we are hearing is that Senator Sinema doesn't want to allow Medicare to lower prescription drug prices throughout their own negotiations. She just doesn't want that. But this is what Democrats really want. This is what progressives say is needed. This could raise hundreds of billions of dollars in order to expand Medicare and make it cheaper. Make Medicare cheaper for many people. Senator Manchin, he actually supports this move to allow Medicare to negotiate their own prices. So that's good news that he supports that, because Senator Sinema doesn't at this time. Senator Manchin also opposes the idea to price carbon pollution, but Senator Sinema, she supports this idea. So this is just another thing of, well, one senator wants this, one moderate wants this, the other moderate wants something completely different. And again, that's the problem. That's the problem right now if everybody wants something different, how do we get a deal done? One idea, this was actually floated just the other day, is one idea that both senators are actually currently agreeing to is to try to pay down our deficit. How do we do that? Is there a way currently to try to get more money, whether it's through tax revenue or whatever? How do we get more money to pay down our current deficit? Well, one report indicates that paying about $100 to $200 billion of our deficit could actually be a good way to get both Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema on board. And this is on board with the current negotiations, because right now the negotiations are almost stalling because both senators have different ideas. And then you throw progressives in there and they want a little bit more. Then you have the majority of Democrats that just say, let's just get a deal done. Let's just get a deal done. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill and let's move on. Let's move on. We can renegotiate. We can talk about future bills in later on. But let's get something done so we can begin to move forward. That's what the majority of Democrats are wanting at this time. So right now, what we're hearing is the White House is trying to decide: how do we deal with the child care proposals? What do we do? Well, according to the White House, they have to decide: do they provide universal pre-K, or do they subsidize for quality childcare? Which ones do they do? They have to decide. This is one of those things that makes it very difficult. We also know Medicare is going to be included. But the thing that we don't know is, okay, we understand that the age, it's not going to go from 65 down to 60. That's fine. I think most people came to the fact that that's not going to happen. But what will it contain? Will it include dental, vision, and hearing? Will it include just dental and vision? Will hearing be dropped? Again, these are things that we don't know. We haven't heard just yet. But the negotiation is, let's make these a little bit cheaper. Let's make it easier for moderates to accept. And let's try to get to about $2 trillion. What we know, and what we've heard over the past couple of days, Nancy Pelosi said this, President Biden alluded to this fact, progressives said they don't want to go down to $2 trillion, but overall the consensus is this bill is going to be about $2 trillion. Progressives are going to have to come down from $3.5 trillion. So they're going to come way down. But yet moderates are going to have to bump it up from $1.5 trillion up to $2 trillion. This is what President Biden wants. This is his goal. This is his plan. And that is how they're going to move forward. So that is what we know as of right now regarding the stimulus package, regarding the what President Biden wants, what Nancy Pelosi says, what Pramila Jayapal and progressives are pushing for, what Senator Joe Manchin and Sinema are both asking for in their wants. This is what we know regarding the CPI data that came out today. As soon as we get the firm number for Social Security, I promise I will bring that to you, but the expectation is it will be at 5.9%. So again, that's what we know as of this morning. But again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.